What up, folks? Once again, it's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. The NFL has gotten rid of Jon Gruden. Is it cancel culture? Are they people just less tolerant now and getting rid of people for even the oldest bullshit? These emails go back to 2010. So it is understandable that people would have an issue with people just losing their jobs, their livelihood, and everything for anything folks can dig up from your past. I mean, after all, we all have a past. So let's talk about it. But before we get into the video, once again, I'm asking you to do what I always ask you to do. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It helps your brother out. Feel free at the end of the video to hit the like button. In fact, I hope you do. Hope you like what I got to say. And if you don't like what I got to say, which you might not, hit the dislike button. I ain't scared. And drop a comment and let me know why you dislike the video. And we can talk about it in the comments. I do respond to any and all comments. So Jon Gruden. Should he have been canceled? Is the woke community, is the cancel culture just getting out of hand? Well, this is a case, and as a liberal, I pride myself on being able to see both sides of a lot of issues, but it looks like this is a genuine case of somebody who was a dirtbag and needed to be terminated. If you can actually see, or you actually believe that what Colin Kaepernick was doing a few years ago, kneeling and things like that. If you believe that was bad for the NFL, but you don't believe what Jon Gruden did was bad for the NFL, then you fucking biased. And we're going to go into what he did, just in case you don't know. Now, this dude was paid royally, so he's losing quite a bit. I mean, not only did he lose a lot of money, in 2018, the Las Vegas Raiders had signed him to a 10-year, $100 million contract, which was the highest paid coaching contract at the time. So from 2018 to him resigning yesterday, that's obviously nowhere near fulfilling the 10 years. So he does forfeit quite a bit of money out of that $100 million for resigning. Not like he had a choice. He was either going to resign or be terminated. That's absolutely the case if you really think about some of the things he did. Now, it came out last week that he referred to an African American as having lips that are as big as Michelin tires. Now, we know the stereotype with black people having big lips. Yours truly, I don't know if my lips are big, depends on who you ask, but you know, there are some African Americans that have large lips. That's something that biologically we receive. I mean, our lips are larger than Caucasians, Asians, and probably Hispanics as well. So that's nothing we can do about that. But we have taken ridicule for having large lips, large nose, curly hair, you name it. So when you start talking about the size of someone's lips and you're white, it's automatically going to be viewed as a racist term based on the history of racism in America, and the minstrels and blackface and all of that. Now, is it racist? There's no way to know. I don't think it's out of pocket to criticize the looks of a black person. God knows there are plenty of black people that criticize whites not having booties and all kinds of stuff, not being able to dance and all of that. So, you know, fair game is fair game. So on that comment alone, I don't believe that Coach Gruden should have been reprimanded at all. In fact, these comments are going back as far as 2010. So commenting on the size of someone's lips of color, just that comment alone to me does not signify racism. And yeah, and a lot of players in the league and a lot of analysts in the league and things like that were well on their way to forgiving Coach Gruden. Some had a problem with it. There were certainly people who had a problem with it and said things, but everyone was not in sync until new shit came out. Well, in addition to that, a host of things came out. Once again, this stuff is going back from 2010 on, but nevertheless, this is NFL related, and you just have to hear it and make your own assumptions. One of the things was a few years back, I believe around 2015, the NFL had drafted their first openly gay player, meaning he was gay out in the open. It wasn't, something in the locker room hidden away. He was gay out in the open. And I remember watching the draft where he kissed his partner when he was selected. Well, Gruden had negative things to say about that and made it clear in the emails he was not a fan of the NFL drafting openly gay players. So there's no way around it, but the gay community is not going to like that. I mean, that's about as anti-gay as you can get, is whereas he's saying that the NFL probably should not have LGBT tolerance. So that instantly got the gay community up in arms. Well, as you also know, if you watch the NFL, it's only been a few years, but the NFL has now started having female referees. There are female analysts. There are females, sportcasters and everything. There are a lot of females involved with the NFL. You know, they're wearing pink shoes in honor of breast cancer, all of this, because the NFL has a large woman fan base. There are a lot of women who like the NFL, more so than even Major League Baseball, hockey, or, you know, any other sport. The NFL has a large female fan base. Well, his emails make it clear that he was not happy about the NFL taking on female referees. Now, I'm not quoting him in any of this stuff because some of this stuff sounds like it's horrific enough that the quotes are not being released. So if you got some of the quotes, feel free to place them in the comments. But now we're talking homophobia, and now we're into misogyny with females. Now, once again, like I stated before, I'm not going to chalk the big lip comment in a racism comment. So we do have misogyny and we do have homophobia. Well, let's add on to that by saying he made comments that he was not a fan of how the NFL was forgiving and went very soft on people taking a knee. Is that racism? I can't necessarily say it is, but I damn sure can't say it is not, because we know who was kneeling and why they said they were kneeling. For the most part, it was African Americans, and they were taking a knee in protest of police brutality and systemic racism. Whether you believe those things are a real issue in the United States, that's up to you. I'm a liberal. I've made it clear on several videos that I absolutely believe systemic racism towards African Americans, minorities, gays, women. A lot of this stuff is it's genuine. I mean, there's genuine issues with these things. I know a lot of my right wingers that watch this are not in the same camp on this. But once again, you're going to have people viewing an unsympathetic coach or player or just a human being when it comes to kneeling. They're going to put you in the racist category. Like I said, I don't submit to necessarily calling that racist, but it's not race friendly towards African Americans. So now you got African Americans upset, you got women upset, you got the LGBT community upset. That's a 1, 2, 3 punch. That's a trifecta for those who have had any experience at the dog or racetracks. I mean, it's a trifecta. So my guess is that the powers that be in the NFL, once this second batch of emails came out, made it clear to him this is way too damning for us to ever be able to repair. The NFL is around 70% African American. And like I said, they're bringing a lot of women into the sport, and they're not necessarily shunning the LGBT community. They want to kind of look like they are inclusive towards everyone. And here you got this Caucasian coach making comments against all of these different groups. Yeah, you have to get rid of them. And this is why I started the video by saying, if you can see a problem with Colin Kaepernick, but you think that Jon Gruden should remain on the field, then you're just biased. I mean, there's no other way. But we'll go back to the saying in regards to cancel culture. I do believe that there are plenty of cases where cancel culture acts too quickly, and people who do not deserve to be canceled oftentimes have their careers, their livelihoods, sometimes even their safety challenged for things that, it wasn't racist, or it wasn't homophobic, or it wasn't this or that. Dave Chappelle is one that's right now in the news that is currently happening too. Different video, different argument. I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, Jon Gruden, Coach Gruden, absolutely deserved what came down the pipe to him. There's no way you can keep this guy on with that much shit coming up out of the sewer on the guy. And that's just what they found in his emails. If he's willing to say that in the email, you can only guess what's actually in his heart or what he's saying around close friends and confidants. It would not surprise me if people close to this guy or people who have played under him or, spent time with him start spitting up more things and, homophobic statements and racist statements, all kinds of shit. They started saying, look, I heard him say this or that. That's generally what happens is once the cat's out of the bag, people pile on. But in this case, I don't think there's any need for anybody to pile on. His career is over with. It's not like the guy's going to be, eating out of the soup line. I mean, he's obviously worth tens of millions of dollars based on all of the time he coached with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, took them to a Super Bowl. In fact, he coached with the Buccaneers from 2002 to 2008. And, yeah, during that time, he actually led them to a Super Bowl. And he was inducted for that team in what they referred to as the Ring of Honor. So they gave him accolades for the time that he was coaching out there in Tampa Bay. Well, they just removed that shit. So he's no longer in it. So you don't just get punished today when you do stuff like this. They wipe out your past from the NFL. That's so anything that you may have been involved in. Hell, for all we know, if there are cards like baseball cards, they have cards for the NFL. All of that, they're not gonna continue making your cards or anything. Like your whole history just gets wiped out. So when they say cancel culture, your ass is canceled. Like completely, he'll be like Mark Schott from the Cincinnati Reds or hell Pete Rose or any of it. Like you can't even come around the stadium. Like don't even bring your ass over here. So he literally is wiped completely out of the sport. Do you think he deserved that? Drop a comment in the comment section. Like I said, I respond to any and all comments, but I'm going to ask. Now that you've seen the video, do you like what I had to say? If so, hit the thumbs up. Do you agree with what I said? If so, hit the thumbs up. Think I'm talking bullshit? You think Jon Gruden should still be out there coaching? Hit the thumbs down and let me know that. Talk to you in the comments. Once again, this is your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Catch you later.